Pull up the car and plug it in, because business in Torrance is electrifying. Hi, I'm Abbie Gremillion, your host of Common Sense, and today we're featuring Tritium, a company that's working towards cleaner emissions and a better environment that's proving to be big business in Torrance.
We design and manufacture DC fast charge infrastructure for the electric vehicle industry that's emerging. We founded back in 2001, but we're really doing a lot of different things in the past, and it wasn't until 2014 that we really decided to become a manufacturer of DC fast charge infrastructure and export that globally.
Tritium was born from a need for developing technology in solar racing, and it has not lost momentum. It has raced to become a global company, leaving its competition in the dust. But it begs the question, was the name Tritium derived from the tritium in Spider-Man?
What do you want?
That precious tritium.
No. We were looking for something, when we founded the company, we weren't really sure which direction we were going. There's a lot of different things that we were doing, and we were looking for something that was sounded futuristic, and we knew tritium, the element, is something that's involved with nuclear fusion and sort of into the future. It's energy source. We wanted to do something in energy, and we thought that sounded cool. There's 3 subatomic particles in a nucleus there, and there was 3 of us, so we thought that was a good fit, and so that's how we chose the name.
David Finn is the Chief Executive Officer of Tritium.
What will probably catch people off guard but is the rate at which the new car sales move towards electric. The reason why I say that is there's 2 pieces to it. The cost of the batteries are coming down. So the difference between the cost of an electric vehicle and the cost of a gas-powered car is diminishing. This infrastructure is going in now, so there's less reluctance to make the buying decision. And then once you get to that point, the reason why it's going to tip so fast is because of our vision, that cleaner and healthier cities thing, the social imperative. If it's the same price and you've bought the electric and you'd be telling your friends, why did you go and get another gas-powered car? My kids live on that, they go to school on that main road. I don't want them to breathe that rubbish anymore. You get an electric car, thank you very much. And it's going to almost be like smoking.
And with anticipating the future of automotive, Tritium has moved to corner the market on electric charging stations.
What happens with the high power charging is it's all turned back on its head again. The design paradigm turns into, this is all going to be centralized and cars are going to come to it, because you're talking about 350 kilowatt charge rates. So what that means is that you can actually add about 200 miles range in about 15 minutes. So it's fairly dramatic, and you can do things like drive from here to Portland and maybe have 2 or 3 stops on the way, 15 minutes each. And that's a total game changer.
And the location of chargers is up to the business or government where they're placed for maximum use and minimal environmental impact.
There's other markets emerging now. We're seeing public transit come into the mix. We're seeing fleets come into the mix. Taxi fleets, autonomous vehicle fleets potentially are coming as well. Also, the workplace and home market is opening up for us. So all those segments have different needs, different requirements. But how do we address them? How do we deal with everything that they require?
So how did Tritium take the concept of charging stations from an idea to execution?
We got involved with a company in Melbourne in Australia called Better Place. They were doing a lot of infrastructure around the world at the time, and they looked around the world and all they could really find were very large industrial looking boxes with cables hanging out the side, not very approachable, really not very cost effective, and not really fitting what they needed. We thought it was very important, it needs to be very slimline at the front of the car park, not take up an extra bit of space, because real estate's going to be really important once you have lots of these. So that really drove the whole design.
And that interest in this kind of business caused the company to boom in growth.
There's around about 160 employees. It's growing every week globally. In the US facility here in Torrance, we have 16 employees, which is also increasing fairly quickly. This year is all about building out the capability in the markets that we've had success in. So we are growing the US office, we are growing the European office through this year quite substantially.
So with the strategy to be the leader in electric vehicle charging, how's business doing?
Through last year, it's certainly well up into the millions, and we're growing at 300% per year. So it's quite an exciting time in the company's evolution, and it shows no sign of slowing down, with the market really growing and coming of age.
Don't speed off just yet. When we come back, we'll take a tour of Tritium and find out what it's like to work with state-of-the-art battery charging technology. But first, trivia. What was the first car to employ regenerative braking? That and more when we come back.
Palm trees, coastline, craft brews. Yep, this is Southern California. But this is Torrance. Have you ever driven to a whole other city just for a bowl of ramen? Because if you haven't, that's about to change. Have you ever been to a beach that feels so much like your own private beach that you're like, where has this been all my life? Welcome, my friends, to Torrance Beach. So private, you hadn't even heard of it. Have you ever been to a mall that had literally 2.7 million square feet of shopping? Run, don't walk to Del Amo Fashion Center. And get this, Torrance is the actual epicenter of the South Bay's craft brew industry. I guess you could say the brews are just craftier here. We also have a farmer's market that's just as much about the people as it is about the food. And even our museum scene is the best of the South Bay. All this just 15 minutes from LAX. You'll come for the city, stay for the experience, and leave as a friend. So, are you in?
Welcome back to Common Sense. So, the answer to our trivia question. What was the first car to employ regenerative braking? The Amatron, an electronic concept car unveiled in 1967 by American Motors. The 1,100-pound car was powered by a combination of nickel-cadmium and lithium-nickel fluoride batteries. It also used regenerative braking to recapture energy and recharge its battery on deceleration. So, what's it like to work at Tritium? Advantages include challenging work that makes a direct impact on the environment, a global client list, and the ability to contribute to research and developing technologies.
The thing that makes a successful company is the team at the end of the day, and getting the right people on the bus in the right places is really essential to making it work. And so really looking for people that are not going to take no for an answer, right? You know, they're looking, our core value is creativity can solve any problem. We've got some others in there as well, but this one's really in our DNA. Like, we really look at any challenge as an opportunity to actually create value for our customers. And then the other one is delivering on our promises. It's required to build the integrity. So those things are really key to what we look for in our staff. And of course, we've got really smart people too. That's always good.
And employees who love a challenge to keep the environment clean is a must for Tritium.
We do see a lot of employees who did have a choice between going to some other tech company, Tritium, do choose Tritium because of that vision. That cleaner and healthier cities, more convenient cities is something that they buy into and want to be part of, and get to do all the cool tech stuff as well and work with a cool team. And that's most of what we use to attract people. We go out of our way to have really great chefs on site or anything like that, like you might see at Google. But we do really try to focus on creating a great culture, easygoing, which is kind of something that's, I guess, stereotypical Australian type culture, which is, she'll be right. But we try to also make sure that at the same time we're delivering quality all the time to our customers and making sure we're doing a really great job.
And keeping customers happy is good for business.
Providing that ecosystem of products is important to be able to work with our business customers, our partners, to provide charging services. So we want to engage with them as much as possible to understand what their needs are, and possibly even understand what their needs are before they do. So we're really out there watching the market, understanding and bringing products to market before they even know they need them. Our product is designed on our own technology from the ground up. We are actually able to modify things and solve things very quickly, so we can be, at the same time we're being very proactive, we can be quite quick to react as well. So if someone comes to us with a need and we see the opportunity, we'll quickly change.
And the largest single site of their V-Fill RT chargers in the world is literally in our own backyard.
Proterra is, I guess, almost like the Tesla of the bus world in some respects. They've been working really well to produce cutting-edge buses that have very long range now, up to 600 miles range on some of the buses. So we've been working with them for the recharging at depot. Some of the leading transit agencies around the world have chosen to go with the V-Fill and the Proterra bus combination. So it's quite an exciting opportunity for us here in the US.
Don't go away. When we come back, we'll find out what Tritium is doing to give back to the community. But first, more trivia. When was the first electric car designed? That and more when we come back. Welcome back to Common Sense. So, the answer to our trivia question. When was the first electric car designed? The first electric car was designed in 1832 by Robert Anderson, decades before Ford came out with the Model T. In fact, electric automobiles were so prevalent that Thomas Edison himself worked on a long-lasting car battery in 1899. So, the choice for Tritium to make Torrance home was a no-brainer.
It's an interesting story actually, because my brother Matthew Finn, he came here to set up the facility. So he looked around the whole of US. We looked East Coast, up around Chicago, down here, the Bay Area. But you know, when we came down to it, everything's here for us. Like, it's a one-stop shop really, in terms of it's a great area for people to live. So staff is good here. There's lots of car manufacturers in the area that we've also got, and there's a lot of design capability here as well. So it's actually a lower cost of running business here than it is in the Bay Area, almost half. So it's a fantastic place to be basically. And then on top of that, it's a direct flight to Brisbane as well, so it's always good.
And with a climate that fosters so much business, it's only logical that Tritium gives back to the community.
At this point in time, it's really about delivering those cleaner and healthier cities and getting these vehicles off the road that, at the end of the day, cause massive health problems around the world. 3 million people a day die from health-related issues related to transportation emissions. It's really core to my belief that it's an important thing to do, and so we're solely focused on that at this point in time.
And that's not all for the contributions to cleaner and more environmentally friendly energy for transportation.
We've designed a charger that's not much bigger than this, that can have 350 kilowatts in it. And that's really world leading. It's cutting edge stuff, and it's got us selected in some big networks around the world. So that's the future, that's where we're going.
Thank you so much to Tritium for welcoming the Common Sense production team to the campus. If you're interested in finding out more information about EV charging stations, you can head over to Tritium at 2972 Columbia Street, or go to their website at www.tritium.com.au. And while you're online, head over to our Facebook page, Common Sense Torrance, to see what's happening behind the scenes. And hey, why not give us a thumbs up too? And to see more Common Sense episodes, please subscribe to our YouTube page at Torrance CitiCABLE. So whether you were the first in line to buy an electric vehicle or you're researching to buy your first hybrid, I'd like to thank you for watching Common Sense, where we take a rare behind-the-scenes look at local business and explore their secret to success. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.